Hey there, and welcome to GamePoints episode 154, weekly little get together. We talk about recent gaming news. I'm, as always, your host, David Brown, and joining me today is.
I'm David.
Tonight, David, we really don't have all that much to go over. We're going to talk about some
It's
of the
almost like
stuff.
it's December.
Yeah, really. We're going to talk about some stuff that happened during the Game Awards, some reveals. We're going to go follow up on a few previous stories that we talked about. And, of course, the Fallout 76 saga just gets funnier and funnier every time I look into it.
Oh yeah, that's great. We'll talk about that too. It'll be fun.
First, let's get some points of order out of the way. Over the weekend, I believe my review went up for a Mutant Year Zero rotating over at GameCritics.com. Go over there and take a look at it. Sum it up, it is a solid game. I gave it an 8 out of 10 on the arbitrary scale of numbers that these sites always want you to give scores to. It is a respectable little XCOM clone that's not really quite an XCOM clone, but more like an XCOM hybrided with Wasteland. So take a look at it if you're a fan of
Dude, you're
that
a big
combat.
you're a big Wasteland fan.
I love
I feel
Wasteland.
like that's,
Wasteland is
I feel like
amazing.
that's right up your alley. Is it worth the full asking price?
$35, yeah.
All right.
That
I
game
didn't know
is
how
on
much
sale.
it was.
Yeah, it's on sale for 35, and it is definitely worth $35. I highly recommend you all go take a look at it. And if you want to take a look at my review, it is over at GameCritics.com. David,
Yeah.
do anything entertaining this weekend?
I had a movie marathon and watched 4 Nicolas Cage movies back to back on purpose.
Okay,
That's
which
what I
ones?
did this weekend.
And
Uh,
you mean you got to have a movie marathon?
Yeah.
And on
We watched-
purpose, you mean you got to enjoy that?
We watched the Beige Volvo trilogy, so Con Air, Face Off, The Rock, and it ended with Gone in 60 Seconds.
Fair enough. I didn't know that was the Beige Volvo trilogy, but now that you mention it, yes, it really is the Beige Volvo trilogy. But enough of that. We're starting to get to that rambling point right
It's
now.
fine. It's fine.
This is, of course, about games. If you are joining us here live at Twitch TV/GamePoints, feel free to join in the conversation. And I want to get your feedback, questions, comments, concerns, topics you want to discuss. Bring it up. We'll get to it. If you're watching us over at youtube.com/GamePointsPC, feel free to comment down below with anything that you might want to do. Try to stay on topic, though. I don't mind a good troll every now and then, though.
He'll read it anyway.
Yeah,
If you're really
I
clever,
likely
you
will.
can get him to read dumb stuff live on the show. So
Yes.
that's
So-
something to look forward to.
Last week, David, as we move on into the news,
The yearly Keelibration happened.
I like that term. You know, the Game Awards happened on Thursday, and a whole bunch of stuff was announced, revealed. Of course, the Game Awards being the only award show I can think of where the focus isn't on the awards at all.
Like barely. It's so funny. Like there's no hype. He's like, okay, by the way, this one, this one, that, this one, that. Let's go back to trailers and talking about video games. Like it's so
Yeah.
funny.
Celeste won Best Indie Game of the Year, and Celeste also won Games for Chance this year, or something like that. They'll like as they're going up to a safe award, they'll throw in another award that they won as well. But all that said, I actually like Jeff Keighley. I like what he tries to do, and I think this year is the least cringiest Game Awards I've seen so far.
He's really trying.
Yeah, I think we're getting there. There's still
It
a lot of work
is
to do.
getting better.
And I will give him credit for this because this fucking blew me away. It happened right at the start of the show when he had Phil Spencer, Reggie Fils-Aimé, and Sean Layden all on stage at the same time. Those are the U.S. heads of Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation. So to get all three of them to sync up their schedules and to actually share the stage at the same time is an impressive feat. And I have that alone I give him credit for. Dr. Hugo, welcome to the chat. Good to have you. Did you watch this, by the way, David?
I was in and out. I was watching it while playing video games. So
Fair enough. So we're going to break down some of the announcements at the Game Awards. We're not going to talk about who won and who lost, and we're not going to talk about other things that may or may not have happened during it. We're going to
we can talk about the fact that Monster Hunter World won Best Role Playing Game, and while I believe that game deserved a win, I don't know
You
about
don't
it being
think it's
the
a
best
role-playing game?
Not really.
Fair
Although, for the big winner, and I'm just gonna spoil it because come on, it's happened like a week ago. God of War beating out Red Dead Redemption 2 was very exciting for me because I was worried that Red Dead was just gonna like run away with it because it was a Red Dead Rockstar game that existed.
Yeah.
And
No, I get it. I understand.
And it didn't, which made me like kind of believe in the awards a bit more.
There is like this weird snarky backlash right now against Red Dead Redemption 2 from a lot of the game's illiterati, as it were. And there's like this, oh, the story is meandering and there's no purpose to this, and it's them stroking themselves off. And I'm like, I read some of these articles, and occasionally they'll make a couple of good points, but a lot of them just come off as trying to cause outrage for the sake of outrage. I always compare them to Rolling Stone magazine of the 70s and 80s, when editors at the time straight up said, we would not listen to the music. We would just pick bands that were very successful and shit on them on purpose just to sell magazines.
Oh yeah, that's a thing that happened.
That seems to be what's happening here.
But more important than people being mad at Red Dead Redemption 2 for no reason is the fact that The Messenger won debut indie game, and that's fantastic, because if you haven't touched that game,
and
you
I have
should.
not. Well, I take that back. I have played very small bits of it.
I'm pretty sure it's actively on sale because the whole like Game Awards sale that's happening on every single platform, and it's so worth it, I think.
So let's get into some of the stuff that was actually announced. We're not going to talk about everything that was announced, but we are going to talk about a lot of the big stuff and some noticeable exceptions that weren't there. And let's go ahead and start right off with this one, because Dr. Hugo in chat mentions it. Mortal Kombat 11 officially announced.
Dude, okay, so here's how you watch that trailer. Me and a buddy actually figured this out. There was a song in, I believe, the opening to Mortal Kombat Deception called Immortal. That was a song by like Adema, or one of those weird hard rock bands of like the 2000s.
Like Atreyu or some shit like that. Iced Earth.
Yes. And it was the intro song to an older Mortal Kombat game. And it turns out if you start Immortal by Adema, as you start watching the new Mortal Kombat trailer, it syncs up for no fucking reason, and it's way, way better than the bullshit music they picked for that trailer, because, oh my god, it's so bad.
Yeah, it was really tonally off to me. I kind of get what they were going with it. I wasn't as nearly driven insane as all the internet was by whatever song they were playing over the Mortal Kombat 11 trailer.
Dude, the song they used like mentioned Mortal Kombat once and then had nothing to do with anything.
Well, it's not that in that song's defense, it's not like a song has to mention what they're in the background on to actually.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they picked a song that mentioned Mortal Kombat for the trailer, and it could have been a completely unrelated song, like about a guy that never dies. And you have a guy singing and screaming, "I'm immortal," as Scorpion comes back to life.
Fair enough. Anyway, but yeah, it looks excessively violent, which is what is to be expected from Mortal Kombat 11.
Full cinematic trailer. We don't have any gameplay. We do know that you can, I think, pre-order it to get Shao Kahn, something like that.
Right.
I saw some news with that guy in it.
You want to talk about a franchise that has undergone like a renaissance over the past few years, though, is Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had Mortal Kombat 10, which by all counts was really fucking good. Injustice, which was amazing.
You skipped Mortal Kombat 9.
Was Mortal Kombat 9 part of the return?
9 was the actual reboot.
Is that when they kind of like the story to Mortal Kombat 9 is they just killed everyone off and reboot, like they go back in time to before the first Mortal Kombat tournament happened, right?
Yeah, because they didn't actually number it. They just called it Mortal Kombat. That's the one that came out in like 2012-ish.
Yeah.
And yeah, the whole world's about to end, and they go back in time, and they reset the entire timeline, and you play through the story of, like, the first 3 Mortal Kombats, and it actually has a whole campaign.
An amazing way to reboot your franchise. And, by the way, even if you're not into fighting games, but kind of have an interest in Mortal Kombat, go take a look on YouTube for all the cinematic scenes combined together, because those Mortal Kombat games have some really fucking entertaining shots to them.
Yeah, the story is actually, like, decent for a fighting game. Yeah. It's not just you play through, you beat it with a guy, and then you get a weird ending video that has
here's
nothing
my circus
to do with anything.
I made with my prize money.
Yep.
I also recommend you do that to Injustice, by the way. If you're any kind of DC fan, I highly recommend you take a look at all the cutscenes from Injustice. Just go to YouTube and look it up.
Or you just
read the comic.
Full graphic novel sets.
Or you can read the comic. Fair enough. Fair enough.
There you go.
So yeah, Mortal Kombat 11 was announced. Leaked a little bit prematurely to agree when that voice actor who was doing like the Spanish dub got fired, and he kind of just spilled his NDA out all over Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm still excited for it though.
Yeah, that was one of the bigger games announced. We also had, and this came from nowhere. No one predicted this was going to happen from what I can see. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Dude, yeah, that's pretty damn exciting considering the last Ultimate Alliance game came out
It was on the Xbox and PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
So that's how long it's been. This is from Team Ninja as well. These are the guys that did Ninja Gaiden, Neo, Dead or Alive. I'm super excited for that. And it's going to be a Switch exclusive.
I feel like that's timed.
It very well could be. It very well could be a timed exclusive. Can't say for certain, but I am all in on this. It's clearly going off the Thanos storyline, the Infinity War storyline. Thanos seems to be the big bad, but more importantly, the X-Men are confirmed to be in it.
Yeah,
Wolverine was front and center in
the trailer, which is great, fantastic.
Dr. Hugo says, so the worlds will change. Was that what was that? So the worlds will change was just a tagline for all of the Game Awards. That's just the hype tag they used. It wasn't specifically related to any specific game, as far as I can tell. So if you want to know what the answer to that question was, that's what I think it was. Also announced Far Cry New Dawn, leaked a couple days before. I don't know if it leaked or Ubisoft just told people about it, but this is it's not Far Cry 6. It seems to be their version of like Far Cry Primal, but it is a
sequel to Far Cry 5.
Yes, the nuclear ending specifically. It's a couple years after the bombs drop when you try to arrest Father Joseph Seed. And the true to Far Cry 4, the cover features the antagonist, in this case a pair of African-American sisters, or twins it looks to be, and they seem to be really angry at everyone. You're like your Mad Max villain for the most part, and I am,
dude, that looks great.
Way excited for New Dawn. And
I actually kind of like the idea of playing as the like bandit caravans and then using the regular, I'm gonna take over this like town, place, camp, whatever. Except for you're taking over like human cities.
You're not playing them.
I know.
You're fighting against them.
That's the game I want.
However, what I am really excited about is if you watch that trailer, the last like 15 seconds of it, have Greg Bick back as the Father Joseph Seed, essentially giving a soliloquy about how he thought he was leading us to a new world, and he was wrong. So the Father, who is one of my favorite Far Cry... I always loved the Far Cry villains. Like, I fucking loved Voss, I loved Pagan Mint, and I loved the Father, who is... If you don't know, look, he is based off of David Koresh, essentially. He is in it. I don't know in what role, but he is going to be in this game, and I'm very excited they just didn't dump him by the wayside. And if you look at that trailer, you can see some signs that say, like, Father was right, spray painted on there about the nuclear war and everything like that. You can get way deep down into the mythology of Far Cry 5 and the apocalypse. Specifically, for example, the sheriff at the beginning of Far Cry 5, when you show up, the older sheriff guy is, his name's something Whitehorse.
No.
So if you... Names. Okay, well, his last name's Whitehorse. The reason why that's important is because on the Book of Revelation... And I beheld a white horse, and death followed behind him, and you, as death, the symbol of the apocalypse, is standing behind him. Like, this shit is all throughout Far Cry 5. You can do a big breakdown of the Book of Revelation and how it relates to Far Cry 5. And
okay,
I really like the twist how he was fucking right. Anyways, I'm getting way, way down the Far Cry 5 rabbit hole.
You're way too into Far Cry right now.
Other things that were announced.
Dude, how about that new Anthem trailer and the fact that game continues to look good, even though I don't know much more about it
so
than I did before.
This is the first time that they actually showed some story elements to Anthem. It looks like they might have introduced the big bad guy, as it were. And this is the first time I've actually been into Anthem since they've announced it.
Yeah, dude, like I said, I got into watching all the videos for the different javelins, I think they're called, like the suits.
Yeah, I believe they're called javelins.
At some point, I was getting into all the breakdowns for your abilities and skills and weapons and all that stuff. And gameplay, I'm interested.
It
just depends on how
good
sloshy the gunplay is. That's really
that's a concern too, because it's on Frostbite. I think it's on Avantha Frostbite. I kind of like how those javelin suits are the anti-Warframe suits. They're not slick and speedy and ninja. They're kind of bulky Iron Man-ish.
They're American robots.
Yeah, and I'm down for that. So not only the new Bio, that's not only the only BioWare news that came out. You also had a quick little 15-second tease for Dragon Age, subtitle unknown. We just know it's coming. Featured the Dragon Age monoliths they make with the or lithographs rather, with the art style. In the center, it looked like the red lyrium statue of Meredith, with Solus on one side and his Dread Wolf persona on the other side. And essentially the egg coming up saying, "I'm sure you have questions." I believe it's the same voice actor, clearly setting him up to be the main bad guy of the next Dragon Age. If you played Trespasser, this should all be known already. No details as to what it's going to be called, when its release date is. We don't even have like concept art of the video game itself. So this shit is twofold. One,
Yep.
this is, in my opinion, BioWare really worried about Anthem.
Because this is just like a teaser. This is a nothing trailer.
Yes, this is BioWare kind of going, we're not 100% certain on Anthem, so hey, Dragon Age is coming out, guys. Because if they were, in my opinion, if they were 100% sold on the success of Anthem, you wouldn't have seen hide or hair of this until after Anthem launched. It would be all Anthem all the time, because you don't want to distract from that game.
That's fair.
And especially,
they don't want to put all their eggs in the Anthem basket.
Yeah, so I think this is BioWare going, hey, we make these other games too. Don't be pissed off. Two, the fact that you saw not even concept art, just this one picture with a one-line voiceover, means this game, at the soonest, will be 2021, if not later.
It'll probably come out when the next Elder Scrolls comes out.
I don't know if it's going to be that late, but yeah.
No.
People, of course, excited about that. Now,
something to be really, really excited about.
Oh,
Let's talk about Obsidian real quick. So Obsidian, if you don't remember, are the guys that put together the good of the new Fallouts.
Yep.
New Vegas.
New Vegas. Also did South Park Stick of Truth.
They've done several things,
Knights
and
of
they're
the
pretty
Republic
good.
2.
They're real good at putting story together.
Yes.
And the creators of the original Fallout happen to be over with Obsidian, and they're making
Tim
a
Kaine
game.
and Leonard Boyarsky, I believe, are their names.
They're making a game called The Outer Worlds, which is not a Fallout game, but very much feels like one.
This looks like No Man's New Vegas, and I am so goddamn down for this. It's not even funny. I expect.
Man, I don't like that. I'd go with like Firefly New Vegas, just because No Man's Sky gives me such a bad taste in my mouth.
So the reason why I say No Man's Sky specifically is because it has that bright, colorful, vibrant look. Excuse me, I'm like hiccuping as I'm trying to talk.
It also looks kind of like 60s sci-fi.
Yeah, well, if you remember the advertising campaign when you were going to Obsidian.net, I believe is the website, they had all like the anti-Cleos and the Spacer's Choice, but it was all done up in like that 40s and 50s advertising style. I am all in on this game. When I knew that I was going to enjoy whatever game Obsidian make, but in my mind, I was thinking like another Tyranny or Pillars of Eternity, that classic RPG style, like the old Baldur's Gate games and the old Fallouts were. Not a fucking Fallout New Vegas style sci-fi RPG that is already has so much work done. This is predicted to come out next year.
Yeah, this is a game that's looking to throw down with the Bethesda format.
And they if you watch that trailer, it straight up apes on Bethesda. It goes from the original creators of Fallout and the creators of Fallout New Vegas. So essentially they might as well have said, hey, from the good Fallout guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
everyone's been waiting for them. Everyone's been waiting for Obsidian to be handed another Fallout game because New Vegas is so flippin' popular. And it turns out it doesn't look like Bethesda's given them one. So
the scuttlebutt
we'll go make our own game
with Robo Blackjack and Robo Hookers.
Yep.
The scuttlebutt is that Bethesda and Obsidian had a real fucking nasty falling out. Like it was bad. Like I think that there was some Metacritic bullshit about the denying of bonuses and all kinds of stuff. Nothing has ever been for sure confirmed. But that's just what the scuttlebutt is that it was not pretty when those two separated. Like yelling, screaming, kicked out of office kind of bad. So let's go down through the somewhat speed round of what was left of the Game Awards recaps. One of the bigger surprises of the night, fucking Joker for Persona 5, DLC character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah, everyone is here except for Waluigi. Wow.
They're going to... I was about to say, if Nintendo had a sense of humor, they would like slow roll Waluigi. Like every time you think he's going to get announced, they would announce someone else at the last second, and they would just keep playing that up. Like
he's going to be the last character that comes out for that game.
Yeah, here's like a trailer, and it has Waluigi all on it, but the person that they're actually bringing to the fight or whatever their catchphrase is like, I don't know.
I don't know how you can think of anything more ridiculous than Piranha Plant.
Yeah,
because you can't.
The Piranha Plant. So. That's cool and all. I'm glad that they got that Atlas license, but let's face it, this also means that Persona 5 has to be on the way to the Switch, right?
It's got to be, which is very, very exciting to me.
That game is like tailor-made for the Switch.
Super into that idea. That sounds fantastic.
Right. Rage 2 showed off some more trailers. Super excited for Rage 2 too. It looks fun. I love that it's being done by the Mad Max guys.
I liked Mad Max. I thought that game was solid. It wasn't the best game of the year, but it had some really good car combat, and it was just mindless fun.
Right, Rage 2 is being done by the Mad Max guys. I'm not confusing something else, am I?
Yeah,
it's
them. It's them playing with some toolbox from id.
And while not officially confirmed, I believe it could be changed. That could have been changed by the time you guys see this go up. Exclusive to the Bethesda.net store. Not on Steam.
Wah, wah.
And there's reasons why that's a bad thing we'll get into later in the show. Saw some Devil May Cry 5?
Dude, that every time I see some more of this game, I get more and more excited for it. I'm not going to lie.
Don't
get me wrong, DMC was solid, but I'm so much more happy to see this.
Yeah, I liked the DMC reboot, by the way, from Ninja Theory. I thought it was solid. I get why people were pissed. I absolutely get why people were pissed, but I had a fun time with that game. That said, 3 is still the best one of them all. 2 sucked. I think we can all say that 2 universally sucked. 1 was good. 4 was all right, but I love that for Devil May Cry 5, they're literally bringing back every single fucking character that's been in the franchise.
Yeah, it's got 3 playable characters.
Yeah, 3 playable characters. Don't know if I'm into Dante's hat. Kind of bothers me a little bit.
There's nothing wrong with the hat, man.
But I like that they have Trish and Lady back in it for the female characters from 1 and 3, respectively. Or, yeah. Coke for Tacos, by the way, thanks for showing up to chat. Appreciate it.
All that matters is that you can get a Mega Buster.
Yeah, that is definitely in there. And so that's coming out very soon, too. Super excited for that. We have the Stranger Things game, and when I first saw it, I was excited because it looked like the old Shadowrun Super Nintendo game, but as it kept going on, I suddenly realized I'm just done with Stranger Things as a franchise.
Are you? You're just over it?
I think I am. I liked the first episode, the first season, thought it was good, and after that, I just stopped caring. What's your interest in it?
I love Stranger Things. I like both seasons. The second season is just more of the first, and I loved the first season, like, ridiculously. The only thing that's weird to me is the timing on this. I feel like this game doesn't need to be out right now. This is like Overkill's The Walking Dead. This should have come out either in the lead up to season 2, or they should just not have said anything until season 3 eventually inevitably drops and they release it at the same time.
It could come out that time. This was just announced, so the date could be close to that.
Yeah, who knows? This could be coming out October next year, and that's when we get another Stranger Things. It's possible.
Other things that were announced. This I want to see how it works, but the guys that make Ark, Ark was it Survival Evolved or something like that? That survival MMO. They're making something called Atlas, which is essentially Ark with pirates. I'm into it. I need to see more of that.
I'm indifferent.
Fair enough. I'm not going to buy it. I want to keep an eye on it. I want to look at it and see if anything good's there. By the way, Dr. Hugo, congratulations on it being your birthday. I'm happy you got the new Call of Duty. Let me know how that is, by the way.
Yeah. Let us know how you feel about Atlas.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I've tried a lot of the big multiplayer survival games, and I just can't really get into them. I don't know if it's just the wrong game type for me or what, but who knows? Maybe it'll be great.
It could
Maybe it'll
be.
be the best damn game ever.
In a surprise, not a surprise move, but I'm kind of surprised that they did this. You had The Last Campfire, a Hello Games short.
Oh yeah, dude. Hello Games are just saying, hey, we're gonna release an adventure game where you row around on a boat.
Now, I don't want to say the Hello Games, these are the No Man's Sky people, by the way.
Yep.
I don't want to say that they should never make a game again, but I really expected them to change that name, that their company's name after this, or something.
Dude, they've been working though to try and get goodwill back, and with
Fair, and
all
it seems to be working. To be fair, their devotion, they could have just cut and run, but their devotion in fixing No Man's Sky is commendable.
Dude, I will always bring up Warframe and the fact that any company, if they put enough effort into a game, can turn it around.
Fair enough. That is true. You also had Crash Team Racing Nitro Field, the remake.
Dude, we knew that was coming.
Yep. They dug out that 90s Bandicoot costume. You remember those old 90s commercials when he stood out shouting in megaphone? They rolled that out. You had Patrice Delitz, I apologize for mispronouncing your last name, essentially the brain behind the first Assassin's Creed, come out with his new game, Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. Looks like you play a monkey beating up other monkeys and learning how to use tools.
From Panache Digital Games.
And part of Choice Provisions label, which I think is 2K's indie label. I'm not positive on that, though. You had Hades announced. Fuck yes, Supergiant.
Dude.
This is from the team that made Pyre and Bastion and Transistor. I am so fucking down for this. It is an action roguelike from Supergiant. Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, yeah, I cannot wait for that game because as far as I'm concerned, Supergiant can do no wrong. They have yet to make me not believe that 100%.
From their gameplay to their art style to their soundtrack to Logan Cunningham's fucking fantastic voice in anything he does. I am so excited for this. The problem is that I have with it, it's in early access right now, and it is exclusive to the newly announced Epic Store. We'll get more into that later, but because it's in early access, I won't be touching this until it actually comes out.
Womp womp. Also, Stanley Parable coming out to console, everybody. Look at that. Remember when that game came out 2 years ago? And it was ridiculous and gained cult status almost instantly as being a game where you're just a guy named Stanley who's in an office job and you walk through a door and then you walk through another door and then an hour later you're setting off a nuclear bomb or you're who knows what's going on.
Expectations, which is what made that game so memorable. Keep in mind, it's more than just coming to consoles. This is Super Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So it's going to have new endings, new choices, new voiceover. So it is an expanded version of it.
But yeah, Stanley Parable is a very entertaining game, and I think it can do well on consoles. It's just fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So things that were not at the Game Awards, besides actual awards.
The things that everybody guessed were actually going to be there.
Yeah, Alien Blackout. Not even mentioned. I wonder what the fuck happened to that, because we had the leak come out. They made the Twitter account. This name has been copyrighted for being a video game. All this came out a week before the Game Awards came out, and there's nothing at all.
Oh well,
I'm shocked that nothing was on there. Borderlands 3.
Thanks, Randy.
Slow jerking it for the past week and a half before then, talking about, wow, I did 3 things today and what comes in threes, and there's 333 seconds in this movie that I'm watching. Just slow beating it over and over again for nothing. And I have this love-hate relationship with Randy Pitchford, and this is one of those fucking things I hate him for, because the only reason why he was doing that shit was to cash in on the Game Awards. To get people going, maybe Borderlands 3 will be at the Game Awards, knowing full fucking well it wasn't going to be. That's a dick.
I don't know how that really helps him though. I'm gonna get everybody excited about this thing and then not actually do anything about it. So
you talk about Borderlands 3 and you keep it fresh in people's mind, especially with Borderlands 2 VR coming out.
I guess we're bringing it up, so he won. Damn it, Randy. You got us again.
No Death Stranding, Kojima.
Dude, as soon as I saw Kojima's tweet saying, hey, I'm not going to be there, guys, I went, son of a bitch. I was so upset because he put that tweet out hours and hours and hours before the actual
it was
show.
The day of, but it was in that morning. And that's one of those weird ones. It's why? It could just be the timing. And to be fair, he wasn't doing the Borderlands 3 thing that Randy Pitchford was where he was teasing it. But I'm I know Jeff Keighley's like your best bro in the whole world next to Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen and Guillermo del Toro, but what? Why am I getting all these pictures with you and the Game Awards is replying to your accounts if you're not going to be there, man? Come on.
Yeah, that's just kind of a bummer.
And then
I
finally,
feel
no
like Jeff
Metroid.
was trying to get him there.
Yeah, maybe because something could have happened. And then finally, no Metroid Prime 4. But if I recall, I was saying that last show, saying don't get your goddamn hypes up because there's no way in hell Nintendo is going to announce Metroid Prime 4 at the Game Awards. That is a Nintendo Direct waiting to happen.
Yeah, no, we discussed that. That's going to be just announced randomly on a Tuesday, sometime mid-March, and that's when it's going to happen. Everyone's going to get super excited.
You know, that's kind of how I hope Half-Life 3 gets announced. Just randomly.
Okay.
Like I want
happening.
I want to log on to Steam one day and just see Half-Life 3 for sale with no fanfare.
Like they just replaced the entire front store page with like a giant full screen Half-Life 3 banner.
Yeah, and it's all $59.99.
Anywhere you click on the Steam client takes you to buy it.
like that. I think
you must buy Half-Life 3 to continue with your Steam account, and boom, that's how they get everyone.
I honestly think that's the only way they can release that game now. Because if they tease it at all, the hype is going to be out of control for it. They just have to fucking put it out there and go, here it is.
However it is, too.
So anyways, that kind of wraps up the news announcements from the Game Awards. What was there, what we think was important, what wasn't there. There's a couple things we missed and I didn't want to talk about, like whatever that weird... it looked like a battle royale on a wasteland Earth as the people launch in shuttles down to the snow-covered forest, whatever the game that was.
It's whatever. There's a bunch of games that were given awards.
Yeah, small things like that I didn't want to bring up. So, let us know what you think should have been at the Game Awards, by the way. If there was something you were hyped up for, didn't make an appearance, or what you think about any of the things that were shown up down in the comments below or the chat.
Or if you think anybody got robbed.
Or if you think anyone got robbed. That's right. Remember, this is an award show, technically.
Yeah, and this is the same award show that last year completely denied Horizon Zero Dawn from winning any fucking thing.
Yeah, fuck that. Dr. Hugo says a Brazilian game won. Could you let me know what game that was? I'm trying to remember off the... You don't know what game it was. Okay, fair enough. And yeah, a lot of Fortnite news. No, not a lot of Fortnite news, but that is what the Russos came out to announce, wasn't it? The Avengers guys, didn't they come out for Fortnite?
I don't know. I phased out around then.
I do agree with Code for Tacos. I'm not a Fortnite fan, but there is one thing I give Fortnite credit for is somehow fucking still staying relevant to this day with their constant set of updates, like meaningful, good updates that actually change the way the game plays.
Fortnite is so relevant that there was an entire category at the Game Awards for Best Streamer, and every single one of them was a dude that plays Fortnite.
I think there was a woman that played Fortnite,
of course, too, well, I just meant people that played Fortnite. And of course, the guy that won is the only guy I actually know the name of.
Well,
and I don't watch Fortnite.
The fact that he's the only one that you knew the name of means he should have won that category, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously he's gonna win because I've heard of him before. My mom's heard of him.
I mean, this is Minecraft 0.2, right? Or 2.0, right? As far as cultural relevance.
Yeah, it's huge. It's everywhere.
It's massive.
Except for I don't think Microsoft is gonna buy it.
No, Epic Games is actually going to hold on to that, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've got the money now.
So, let's move on to the rest of the news that happened. That's not necessarily Game Awards related. One of them, these stories that came out today, in the most barren press release that I have ever seen, from Forever Entertainment SA. Here's the press release. Panzer Dragoon Remake and Panzer Dragoon Remake 2 Zwei. Forever Entertainment, together with Sega Holding Company Limited from Japan, will co-create and publish Panzer Dragoon Remake and Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei Remake. The premiere of the first part is planned before the end of 2019. Not a remaster, a remake. The important part is right here. The new version of the game will be characterized by a completely new graphics compatible with today's standards and several modifications of the game, making it more attractive to modern players while remaining faithful to the original in terms of story. The first materials of the game will be presented in the upcoming months. What do you feel about that, David?
Hell yeah, put it on Switch.
Fair enough.
I mean, they've relaunched the Panzer Dragoon games before. There's been like some remakes or re-releases or whatever the hell you want to call them. The last new Panzer Dragoon game I want to say was on like Xbox or 360.
It was on Xbox original. It was Panzer Dragoon Orta.
There you go. But I like those games, and I'm pretty down for this.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not going to come out for a long damn time. I'll probably forget about it before we get to the end of 2019. But, dude, bring it on. I'm
I like
down.
that they're actually getting remade too. They're not just HD remasters. It is not a new game, but they're kind of doing the Resident Evil 2 thing with it. Coco Tacos, thanks for showing up. You have a good night. I appreciate you dropping by. I'm into it. I like the Panzer Dragoon games. I think that a lot of people have some nostalgia glasses when thinking about them, and specifically with Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is a good game, but not the groundbreaking revolution a lot of people claim that it is.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not going to hold up now. I can't go back and play that game. But that's why the idea of a remake and an attempt to cash in on feelings I had when I was a kid and played it, I'm okay with. Let's do it.
Same
Why
here.
not?
I'm excited for this. I want to
keep re-releasing my childhood. It's fine. That's all I'm gonna get anyway.
I'm going to say
I'd rather you do it than Hollywood.
I'm going to say keep releasing my childhood good. Like Final Fantasy VII remake sounds great on paper, but if you just pay attention to the development of the game, that sounds like a fucking train wreck about to happen. So,
oh, dude, that game's vaporware anyway.
Exactly what I'm getting at. So
just play the spin-off Final Fantasy game that came out on PSP. What was the 7 game on PSP? Crisis Core?
Crisis Core?
That game was great.
But yeah, Panzer Dragoon 1 and 2 Remake is coming. Other news, David, the Epic Store has been announced as a direct competitor to Steam.
Now, this is really interesting because Epic's got that Fortnite money, which there's a lot of, and they are opening up their own store that's, yeah, you said it, a direct competitor to Steam, and it's going to have high-quality games according to their release. Our goal is to bring you great games and to give game developers a better deal. And the big part is developers receive 88% of the money the customer spends versus only 70% elsewhere.
As a direct shot at
Steam. The 70-30 split is pretty standard. There was an interview I was reading about the Epic Store saying that, hey, we're still going to make the money on this, and it'll be fine. We're not charging the same rates that other people are, so content creators will be able to make more money. We're going to try and feature more independent creators. We're going to have a system where people that stream the game or are tangentially related to the game can get in contact with the developers, and the developers can talk to them. So the streamers will be able to get on the store somehow or have a link from the store page. It actually sounds
they seem
really
like they're
interesting.
Going really they're kind of innovating on the Steam marketplace, which is what
Steam,
I'm looking for.
Yeah, because Steam has been the same damn thing for a long time, and it does have a lot of problems. Everybody loves it because it's the only fucking thing, and our other option is Origin. So, of course, Steam is the dominant force. But Epic actually has the potential right now to just sneak in and snag a ton of market share. And I think they're even getting a better deal to developers that use their engine. Because remember, Epic made the Unreal Engine. That's a thing they do.
Yes, there was if you recall, a few months ago when Fortnite fucking just took off like no one's business, Epic announced, "Hey, we're lowering how much we're taking in from our engine."
Yep.
So,
and then they canceled their other game and gave out all of the assets for it, just for free.
And the fact that as a developer you can keep 88% of your money instead of 70% of your money is a big fucking lure, and has lured in some exclusives. For example, Super Meat Boy Forever, whatever the Super Meat Boy game coming up, exclusive to the Epic Store for a year. Hades, the Supergiant game we were just talking about, early access.
Let's also talk about the
Epic
fact
only.
that last week we were talking about how Steam is changing their rate, so it's swapping from a 70-30 to an 80-20 for games that make over $1 million or whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
Epic doesn't have that. It's 88-12 flat.
Sell 2 billion copies of a game or 2 copies of the game. You keep 88%
you make
88%. So
this is a huge deal, especially for small studios.
Yeah. And also, if you're looking for a Steam competitor that's not Epic or Steam, I would also recommend Good Old Games, GOG. DRM free since the get-go.
Yeah, it has been. The problem is that their store, they could use a little work, and they don't really have, it took them a really long time to get cloud saves. I don't think they have that everywhere, and they don't have, the online infrastructure for multiplayer as much as Steam does.
That's not going to be a problem for the Epic Store, though.
Nope, because remember, Fortnite's on every damn thing, and the Fortnite that's on Switch has integrated voice chat and doesn't require a paid subscription to Nintendo because
Right.
they just fucking figured it out.
God damn that Nintendo thing. So yes, take a look at the Epic Store. There are some exclusives going up there, not without controversy. For example, games that were supposed to be coming to Steam have now since been pulled off the Steam page, and that has pissed some people off, and rightfully so, because there was no announcement. They just disappeared one day. Ah, David, you want to lead this next topic, or should I?
Oh, dude, we got to talk about this. This is the greatest story I think I've read. This story is from IGN. It's all over the place if you're looking for it, though. But, dude, you remember Souljaboy?
No, I don't. I didn't even know who this was until this story.
I'm
out of touch.
You never cracked that or whatever the fuck this guy was on.
No, I
anyway,
am way out of touch though.
There's a
the children
28-year-old
who were wrong.
There's a 28-year-old rapper named DeAndre, who goes by Souljaboy, who was popular 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I don't even know. Was he 16? I don't know when rappers were famous. So my bad. I remember Biggie. Anyway, he's begun selling a Soulja game branded console and handheld out of nowhere. Hey guys, I'm Souljaboy, and you should buy my new video game console that basically comes with a PlayStation controller, and it plays a shit ton of games. It plays like 800 pre-installed games, and it basically just sounds like an emulator box that has a bunch of illegal video games on it. Like if you read the description, and it's got Tekken and Tomb Raider and all this other stuff as the pictures for the games.
Here's the and I agree, Dr. Hugo. This man is insane. Here is the bits from the article itself that are important. First of all, 28-year-old rapper DeAndre Cortez Way, aka Souljaboy, has begun selling the Soulja game branded consoles and handhelds. Though it turns out they're really just off-brand emulators that can be found elsewhere.
Yeah, dude, he's reselling Chinese knockoff emulators. This is a thing that's happening.
These exact same emulated devices can be found on manufacturer Abrinic's preferred online storefront for both much less than what Souljaboy is offering. They're both listed at the base price of $200 on Soulja Watch, which is his fucking website.
Dude, get your games on your Soulja Watch.
If you go to Abrinic's website, remember, this is the exact same console, just a Souljaboy's name on there. They go for $106 for the console and $73 for the handheld. And it's so bad. I mean, take a look at the controller for this. That is clearly a PlayStation 1 DualShock. Going on from the article again itself. The Soulja game console allegedly houses over 800 pre-installed games, but there's no list given. So you have no fucking idea what's installed on these.
They're just gonna be a bunch of like cheap knockoff games.
Here's 80. Here's like 80 copies of Minecraft or Minesweeper, just different styles.
Dude, here's 80 asset ripped, reflipped, recolored Game Boy Advance games.
Comes with AV and HDMI outputs, 2 DualShock S controllers. It's visually similar to an Xbox One S and runs on Linux 3.0. It also claims output at a 4K resolution. But the included games come from PlayStation 1, Arcade, Nintendo Entertainment System, Game Boy Advance. So why...
Don't worry about it.
This console does not have anything that can run at 4K in it.
Don't worry about it.
Additionally, to add insult to injury, I want to bring this picture up on the IGN thing. Their advertising features, like you said, characters from Tekken and Tomb Raider, but it is highly unlikely permission was given to use those IPs. This is like the most fucking flea market-esque back alley in the streets of San Francisco bullshit that you can find.
Yeah,
and he is selling it he is selling a console that's just an emulation box that you can buy for $80 for fucking $200. I can't. When I first heard this, I went, okay, whatever, who cares? It's Souljaboy. I don't even know who that is. And then I started looking into the absurdity of this fucking thing.
It's not Anuya, bro. It's the Soja.
IRYB, someone's jealous on this somewhere. I don't know who exactly. And yeah, Dr. Hugo, the gif of Fry throwing his money at the screen. I want to know who the fuck spent $200 on this.
Dude, I just want to know.
Are they sold out? Have they sold? I want to know how many sold.
You can buy the handheld from the AliExpress website for $60, man.
I also want to know how long it's going to take before fucking Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony just land on this motherfucker.
Dude, I almost want to just import this damn thing from China just to see what's on it. 3,000 games and supports additional downloads, man. Who knows? The pictures on the Chinese website have, dude, it looks like Mario Kart's on there, like the Incredibles game, Earthbound. Is that, dude, I don't even know. I don't even know.
Where are you reading this list from? Because as far as I know, there's no.
I'm not reading a list. I'm looking at pictures on the knockoff website.
Oh, okay.
But it's not officially branded, but I'm pretty sure I could just print out like a Souljaboy sticker and then just stick it on the back and
you can have this one for 150. Oh, man.
Comes with 16 gigs of onboard memory.
Anyways, if you happen to be someone who bought this goddamn thing, please send me pictures, send me a list of games, send it to GamePoints PC at gmail.com.
Someone has to bite the bullet, or one of us is going to do it. And we're going to be really mad about it.
No. I'll try to use my connections to get one for free, but I can't guarantee anything. I want to know what this is. Dr. Hugo, so I know you say you'll buy this to show it to you, and I appreciate that. Hey, you're rolling into the Overwatch money now. You might be able to do that. Do so. I'll make sure you get full accreditation for it.
Dude, it's got a mini USB port, not micro, not USB-C, mini, and that's great. I love it.
IRYB, you're saying it's sold out. It is not sold out. The website does say it's sold out, but we have it confirmed that they've just pulled it. They've delisted it from the store, so it's not sold out. I know the website says that, but people who have
I gotta select a color. Do I want the white one or do I want the translucent black one?
Translucent black. Go for that Nintendo 64-esque vibe. Anyways,
okay, yeah.
Enough about Souljaboy's console. We have a couple more follow-up stories to shit we talked about last week that I want to touch on. The first is this Fallout 76 story,
otherwise known as Bethesda Trainwreck 2018.
This thing, it really is the disaster that keeps on giving. And at this point, I just feel bad for Bethesda from all the negative press. This article is via Kotaku. Bethesda support leaks Fallout 76 customer names, addresses, and phone numbers. It is exactly as bad as it sounds from the article itself. Some of the people submitting tickets to get the replacement Fallout 76 canvas bags, breaking the article there, if you remember, they promised canvas bags, they shipped nylon ones, and fucking got slapped by the media so hard and by people who were pissed off saying this is what I want. They immediately said, okay, sorry, we fucked up. Canvas bags coming. Despite, costing too much. Going back. Have encountered a surprise. They've been getting access to parts of Bethesda's support system, including the ability to open and close tickets, as well as check out customers' personal information. So, long story short, if you apply to have your bag replaced, a small number of people who use Bethesda.net became customer support staff for like a day or two. And they could see all the information required from it. A couple of people from Reddit posted pictures. For example, this Jesse Pye here said, I'm receiving every single one of your support tickets on my Bethesda account. Mostly it's your receipts for all of your Power Armor set bag requesting a new bag. These contain all of your info, your email, your home address, and the card you used to buy this game. Someone else went on to say that he went on to Support Today to update a ticket of his and surprisingly ended up being able to see all sorts of tickets with people putting their information on them, like receipts, screenshots, names, addresses, and so on. And a picture from Kotaku shows what that looked like right here. David.
Yeah.
How fucked up? How fucked is this? How fucked is this game? This is the game that keeps giving. If you love chaos, and I love me a good shit show, don't get me wrong.
I don't know how you are even capable of being incompetent enough to redirect your customers' service page to see other customers' submitted tickets.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that happen?
So
how cheap did you go for your web development?
I can see how some glitches happen, right? Like, you're like, okay, well, I understand how this could have fucked up.
It's just funny because this isn't even the same department. Like, you can blame it on Bethesda, but these are totally, this isn't people who made the game. This isn't like just a bug. This is the guy that makes their website and puts their website together. Seriously fucked up.
And this is the same site they want you to buy Rage 2 exclusively from. They doxed the people who were sending in requests to get a replacement for the bag that they fucked them on to begin with. Like, how fucked up is that?
I don't know, man. This is how they're doing it.
Give me one second here.
This is what's up.
Fallout really is just I mean, they did respond, but their support within 24 hours did respond. Same with the following quote: "We experienced an error for our customer support website that let me start over. We experienced an error with our customer support website that allowed some customers to view support tickets submitted by a limited number of other customers during a brief exposure window. Upon discovery, we immediately took the website down to fix the error. We are still investigating the incident and will provide additional updates as we learn more. During the incident, it appears that username, real name, contact information, and a proof of purchase information provided by a limited number of customers on the support ticket may have been viewed by other customers accessing the customer support website for a limited time. No full credit card numbers or passwords were disclosed." Congratulations. I don't fucking care. It's all some people need are like the last 4 digits, what card it is, and your name and address. From there, they can fucking do horrible shit.
Yeah, it's again, this is just a train wreck that isn't related to the actual game. This is just a really bad web script that could technically have happened anyway. It just sucks that it happened to them right now. They got a lot of bad will because of the whole Fallout thing, and this is not helping the matter at all. I don't know exactly how much good faith Bethesda has to cash in. Like, I'm sure they have a metric shit ton, right? Because in Bethesda games, all Bethesda games get good. Even if they're not perfect at launch because they're notoriously buggy, they eventually get good.
I wouldn't say all of them.
But that's like the conception, right? That's what people kind of think.
One second, back.
But now you just have like the whole company is just, I don't even know, running really poorly, and it sucks because I like Bethesda. I really want to like Fallout 76. If it ran great on my computer, we would have different conversations about it than we've had before.
Bethesda's gotten a pass on a lot of things, and I think the travesty that's Fallout 76, with how poorly that game is not just received, but conceived, combined with that people are kind of... Their downhill trend started Fallout 4, because it came out and people are like, oh, this is Fallout 3.5. We're already seeing better open worlds being done by Sony and by the guys at CD Projekt Red. This feels like a game that should have been released 5 or 6 years ago. Something's wrong with this. And that's when Bethesda's fall from grace really started to happen in earnest. And then the next Fallout game came out and they needed to fucking hit it out of the park with all those complaints. We get this. And once again, I will admit, I was playing Fallout 76 last night. I still enjoy the game. But I realize a fucking busted game when I see it. And this is... Bethesda... This is the straw that broke the camel's back.
I just need enemies to spawn properly.
Yeah, this is the straw that broke the camel's back, and they are... I have to wonder, are they going to keep trying to update this game and try to get something that people are willing to come back to in 6 months, or are they just going to fucking cut and run?
I mean, they don't have anything else coming out for the next couple years, we're pretty sure, right?
And yeah,
I feel like they have to put time and effort into this game.
And think about the other games that they've released lately. I loved Dishonored 2. Didn't sell well. The new Wolfenstein didn't sell well. Prey did not sell well. I loved all 3 of those games. But Wolfenstein, not so much. The newest one anyways. But this is in a bad way when it comes to their games. They've had a very bad streak of low-selling games. And then fucking Fallout comes out in this state. I worry about Bethesda Game Studios as a company at this point. But
we gotta wait and see, man.
We'll see how that shakes out. It also makes me wonder if they're going to be desperate to push out Skyrim or Starfield even faster now. Or at the very least start talking about these games way sooner than they were hoping to talk about, just to get the news off of Fallout 76 in some way, shape, or form. Because I haven't seen. I mean, you could compare it to No Man's Sky, right? Where No Man's Sky came out and people were like, this is not what was fucking promised. But at least No Man's Sky kind of worked. This is beyond that. This is a bigger franchise that is just fuck it. It is unacceptable the state that this game is in, and it keeps every week there is another, not just small PR issue, but fucking huge. Doxing your people, requesting a bag that you should begin with. Like if you're in the EU, that you're talking like felony level status crimes at that point. And
Man, this is really bumming me out. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
I feel like it's just too much. I can't keep dealing with this Bethesda nonsense.
Well, let's
I feel like we need to talk about something happier. We talk about a company that's doing really well. We need to talk about a company that recently said they're not going to be able to keep the lights on until January, and how their day definitely got better after our article on them last week. In a story from Variety, Starbreeze, those fellows that published Payday, correct? They also recently put out Overkill's The Walking Dead. They also recently said they weren't going to be able to keep the lights on through January. Were raided by Swedish authorities. In a quote from the article, the offices of Starbreeze, the developers behind poorly received shooter Overkill's The Walking Dead, were raided Wednesday in Stockholm by the Swedish Economic Crime Authority, which is investigating the company for insider trading, according to Dagens Industries. The raid occurred Wednesday morning, with authorities arresting one on suspicion of insider trading and seizing a number of items, including a computer. According to the publication, the outgoing finance manager and outgoing CEO both sold their entire stake in the company in November, which would have been, I believe, right before the game released. Since those sales, the stock price for the company dropped about 80% as the company struggles with the lackluster response to Overkill's The Walking Dead. This is ridiculous. They just released a game that wasn't really well received, wasn't great, let's be honest, and they've already said, hey, we can't afford to keep the lights on, and it turns out that they're being accused of insider trading, and it kind of sounds like, hey, they knew that this game was going to be a flop, and they tried to cut and run.
Yeah, it's...
We said last week that Starbreeze was done.
I can't add anything more to this that isn't already in the article. It's just fucked up.
I mean, we said that they're done. Now they're extra done.
Yeah.
Now they might not just... It's not that they're just going to close down the studio. It's very possible that some of the people that work for that studio aren't ever going to work for a new game studio.
No, straight up. Starbreeze is fucked. They're gone. Let's just say what it is. They're gone, which sucks because they have a history of some good games. The Chronicles of Riddick game, Assault on Dr. Athena was good. That first Darkness game was
good.
Well,
the shitty thing, because it sounds like this is something that happened from the highest levels. Like you're talking CEO.
Well, this is the CEO.
Board level.
Remember, these are the outgoing people. These are the people that were fired for all intents and purposes on the story last week, and they were fucking insider trading.
But do you know how many people just
arrested for insider trading? It's still technically an allegation, I guess. At this point, there's been no trial. To be fair,
but you've got so many just developers. You got art guys. You got story guys. You got and they're all just losing their job basically. Yeah, they haven't yet, but that's happening. This company's not going to stay up, and that sucks. I feel like the story we've had the most this year is of game studios closing, and it's really bumming me out.
Yeah, I mean, either way, we're not going to know the fate of Starbreeze for at least a couple more months. We think we can see it on the horizon, but we don't know when it's actually going to happen. David, as we wait for that inevitable hammer to fall, what can we enjoy between now and then?
Well, if you go to the Souljaboy website,
God damn
you can enjoy up to 3,000 retro games beamed directly into your eyes.
I guarantee you, they're just like it's all these free to play fucking.
Nope. I've
games.
been actively doing research this entire time, and at least the box you can get from the Chinese website is straight up a old school classic game emulator, chock full of retro video games from the Neo Geo from arcade, NES, Super Nintendo. I've seen screenshots of Super Mario Kart running on this shit. And yeah, dude, for $50, I'm thinking I might want one. This shit is illegal as all hell. And
China, man.
Souljaboy is selling it for $200.
China
But yeah,
don't care.
if you don't want to spend the money on that guy's game, or you just want new games in general, we got a couple things. The year's not over. You can get Guacamelee 2 on Switch. That
Good
did come
game.
out a little while ago. Guacamelee 2 is the Metroidvania platform game where you play as a luchador, fight with punches, kicks, and wrestling grapples. And like many other Metroidvanias, you slowly acquire powers as you go that give you new movement abilities, combat abilities that let you go to different areas, and yada yada. I know you're a big Guacamelee fan.
Yep,
And
I like Metroidvanias in general, and this is a good one.
And I'm pretty sure you can turn into a chicken, so there you go. We also have Desert Child for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. This is a like indie racing sim game that actually looks kind of interesting in that it's a hover bike racing game that's like a side-scrolling racer. So looking at it reminds me of like this jet ski level from Battletoads.
I think when you describe it that way, I think of a Excite bike.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you move over the way the graphics look remind me more of Battletoads because it's got that like sense of speed.
Okay, fair
and
enough.
You're basically racing to try and win enough money to get off Earth and get your ass to Mars before the Earth explodes.
So here's the problem with that.
Potentially makes it the best racing game ever.
If the Earth explodes, Mars is still pretty fucked.
Don't worry about it, man. Just get yourself to Mars and be the Desert Child. We have Earth Defense Force 5 coming out for PS4 this week. Third-person shooter. This is the 5th Earth Defense Force game. The company that makes these games originally made giant mecha action games and were pretty decent at it. And then they switched to the EDF franchise, which has stayed popular, even though it's a little cheesy. It's outrageously cheesy, but it's a third-person shooter where you play as humans and you fight against giant aliens that are stomping around all over the place. This includes giant ants, giant spiders, frogs. There's multiple classes. These games are a little ridiculous, and as far as I can tell, this game's already getting decent reviews. Like middle to high. So there you go.
Jared Petty reviewed it over at IGN and said it was a fantastic game. And
dude, Forbes gave it a 9 out of 10.
It's they're budget titles. So you have to go in knowing it's a budget game.
Yeah, don't expect a blockbuster, but expect to have fun.
But they're fun.
In something that's surprising to us because we don't pay attention anymore, EverQuest, yes, that EverQuest is getting a new expansion this week called The Burning Lands. This is going to be the 25th expansion to the oldest damn MMO that I'm aware of.
Came out in 1999 and still is actively going and producing new content still.
Yeah. The new expansion is centered around the Planes of Power, which was introduced in 2002 in the game's 4th expansion. They're expanding on content from an expansion that came out 16 years ago.
Go them. I can't
right?
I can't fault them for that. I have to check because I might know of one older MMO. EverQuest isn't the first one, but there is one that might be a little bit older that's still active. At least it was still active last time I checked. Yes, Ultima Online. Ultima Online released in 1997.
Well, there you go.
Not to try to one up you. That's the oldest one that I can think of on the top of my head. Was Ultima Online. That I've popped in recently and played.
The oldest MMO I remember ever playing was Anarchy Online.
I want to say it was 2001.
Probably. Also coming out this week, we have Kingdom 2 Crowns for Xbox One, PC, Switch, and PS4. This is more or less a sequel to the Kingdom game. Kingdom New Lands, I think, came out a while ago, and then the original was Kingdom... I don't remember what it's called. But this is a kind of interesting game. It's a side-scroller where you build up like a town or a city or a kingdom, and in the daytime, you ride around, you give villagers jobs, you build up defenses, and then at night you're attacked by goblins and trolls and spooky shit. And the whole thing is you're playing as the king, and you have a crown. And if at any point your crown is knocked off your head and one of the bad guys gets it and runs off with it, that's game. But it's procedurally generated, and it's a bit of a roguelike because you die, you start over, you build up your base again, but it actually has a story to it as well. So it's kind of difficult. And this one has co-op, so that's why it's 2 crowns. You can actually play with a
Okay.
friend. I actually like the Kingdom game. I think it's pretty fun.
I never
So
even heard of it.
yeah,
Have to take a look at it.
something I'm.
FYI, Anarchy Online came out in summer of 2001, still actively running.
Damn.
At least according to the article that I just read.
I wonder if my account still exists. Okay. The thing I'm probably most excited for coming out this week, Salt and Sanctuary, the Drowned Tome Edition. This is the physical release of Salt and Sanctuary on Switch. I am hyped for this game. Salt and Sanctuary was one of my favorite games of 2016. This is very much a Souls-like in every damn meaning of the word, in that it apes everything about Dark Souls except for the fact that it's 2D. It's got a branching pathway. You fight really difficult bosses. You get currency for killing enemies that you turn in to level up your abilities and buy items with. When you die, you have to go back and find your souls or whatever the hell they call it. I don't care. I thought that game was great, and it's a physical edition of a Switch indie game that's for like $30. I think it's 26 on Amazon, so I'll be playing that tomorrow. We have Double Switch for PS4 and PC. This is a game from the crew that made Night Trap. This game stars Corey Haim.
Yeah, is
And
that of
it
the two
is-
Corey's fame?
Yes, Corey Haim of the Corey
License
fame.
to Drive, Lost Boys, Dream a Little Dream, Dream a Little Dream 2,
Anyway, Double
Lost
Switch.
Boys 2,
Double
in a
Switch
cameo appearance.
is a full motion video game, which is one of Steven's favorite video game types.
I love it.
And,
I loved I was
I don't-
so sold on the full motion video games in the early 90s.
Dude, this game is like the original Five Nights at Freddy's, except for instead of giant animatronic stuffed nonsense trying to come kill you, you're a surveillance guy who's watching over a hotel, who's watching actual videos of these people, and some of them are maybe murderers or intruders or both.
I think
and
it's
you're trying to
important
figure out who the bad guy
state
is.
that one of the antagonists is Arlie Ermy.
Damn, really?
Yeah, he's the janitor of the building. Also,
Well, all right.
features Debbie Harry of Blondie fame.
Cool.
The lead
Basically, you play by using the cameras and viewing any of the rooms, except for instead of just seeing a static image, you're going to see a full motion video, and it's kind of ridiculous that this game is being re-released now. I don't know who's it's for, besides the guy to my right. And there you go. We have Below coming out for Xbox One and
The
PC.
guy to the right is exactly who it's for. I no joke. I didn't buy Night Trap when it came out. I own a copy of this game. Fucking stay right here. Stay. I'll be back. Keep going.
Okay. He's going to go find his fucking Sega CD copy of Double Switch because he's an asshole. We have Below coming out for Xbox One and PC this week. It's an adventure indie RPG game. It's isometric. It's a journey through a haunted depths of a forbidden isle. This game actually looks kind of stylish. It is kind of like that lo-fi 2D art from over the top view. And yes, Dr. Hugo, this is our show now. If you want to show up next week, you can just totally take this guy's place. I don't even care. And finally, coming out this week is Borderlands 2 in VR for the PlayStation VR. And I am really sorry, everyone, but I just don't care. Don't get me wrong. I like the Borderlands games. I thought the first one was fun. I played the second one, the pre-sequel or whatever the hell it's called. It just wasn't great, and I'm kind of Borderlands out, at least for now. And so the idea of playing through Borderlands 2 again, even in VR, it just doesn't appeal to me right now. But I think the problem is that when the Borderlands game came out, everyone was so damn excited for it that all my friends wanted to play, but never at the same time. So I probably started like 8 or 9 different characters. It's like, okay, this is the character I play with these 2 people, and this is the character I play with these 3 people, and this is the character I play with that one person. And I just can't. I can't go back. Did you find it?
No, so I know where it's at. And the second I saw it, I realized that it is sitting on the bottom, inaccessible of like 20 different boxes. Where it should be. It should be kept far away from me. And it should be lost and forgotten and buried. But if I remember, I'll go through there and find it for next week's show so you guys can see it.
There you go. In the meantime, I offered Hugo your job.
Yeah. Good luck with that, Dr. Hugo. How do you feel about absolutely no pay with little reward?
Yeah. Don't worry, you'll get no fame, no glory, and no appreciation. And with that, this has been Game Points episode whatever the fuck.
154. A little bit of bookkeeping before we round out this show. We are approaching the end of the year. We will be taking time off for Christmas and possibly New Year's Eve, so you could go 2 weeks without the show. But we are going to be live next week with our favorite games of 2018. It's our big Game of the Year, that actually kind of Game of the Year episode. And, of course, we can't have the good without the bad, the biggest disappointments of the year as well. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. If you want to be part of that show, write into GamePointsPC@gmail.com with your best and worst moments of 2018 when it comes to video games. The next show after that, be it the week after Christmas, New Year's Eve, or the first week of January, will be our 2019 predictions.
It'll be pre-recorded if we do a holiday episode.
Fair enough. And that does bring us to the end of Game Points episode 154. Thank you for watching the show. We do stream live here at twitch.tv/GamePoints every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you can't join us live, however, you can tune into our YouTube page, youtube.com/GamePointsPC. Regardless of where you watch, we appreciate it when you interact with the show. If you're doing it live, join in the chat like Dr. Hugo did, like Coco for Tacos did earlier as well. Bring your questions, comments, concerns, and we'll try to address them on the show itself. If you can't and you watch us live, feel free to comment, or watch us on YouTube, feel free to comment down below with the same things. If you want to support the show in any way that you can like, subscribe, throw bits at, all that good stuff, but it's never mandatory. Never feel like you have to do it. It just really does help the show. If you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at GamePointsPC. You can follow myself, Steve Brand, at CaptainSpeak21, and you can follow David there at @PalStrife_Satori. Until next week, this has been Game Points, and we're out of here.